let's go. I really got the feeling today that everything is going my way. Now this is what I'm talking about. Every time I see your smile, it makes me shout. Let's go! Let's go! Nothing's gonna stop us today. Get on the bus or get out the way. We're cruising with the radio on. So turn it up to 10. Here comes our favorite song. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Yes, let's go. Good morning, good afternoon. Oh, another Sunday. Yes. Yeah, I know the energy is always high, always here at top of the another episode of the Power Series. Hey, what else do you expect? Today's episode, I've got someone awesome, some amazing. Earlier on in the live stream, Isaac mentioned that, yeah, it's just a but hey, I was telling her, you know what? People have joy in, getting to know the basics. So today we're going to do that. And as always, you know that before we get into it, I'm going to tell you what's happening in the world of tech, upcoming events and all that. But before we get into it, here's the intro. Awesome. We are back. We are back. We are back. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. Awesome. Welcome to all of you joining the stream from all over the world, from all different places. It's Samuel joining again with the Power Series. Don't mind me. I've been taking a lot of coffee, but it's cool. It's all nice. So before we get into it, let's go and talk about what's happening in the world of tech. So I'm going to quickly switch over to show you the events happening so we can talk about them. So let's get right into it. Awesome. Hello from YouTube, CK Opaka. Welcome to the show. So as you saw, yesterday was the beginning of our 8-day 64 session, 64 speakers, 64 workshop for the Microsoft Certified Trainer West Africa Cloud Bootcamp 2020. Yep, that deserves, a round of applause. Yeah, really does. Yep. We had an awesome time, an interesting time. It still continues for the next 7 Saturdays. So make a date with us next Saturday, 12 to 4 p.m. GMT +1. You don't want to miss it. All the cool guys are on this platform, on this bootcamp, so you don't want to miss that. Now, another thing that deserves a round of applause is Dynamics Con. Yes, happening September 9th to 10th. And yes, I will be talking. Guess what? I'll be talking about when IoT, the Power Platform. Don't want to miss that. Make a date with me. I'll be showing you how to do that, some cool demos and some cool stuff. So join me September 9th to 10th on Dynamics Con. Now, the next thing that even deserves more round of applause. Yep. Is, is actually Microsoft Ignite. Yes, Microsoft Ignite is happening. Yours truly, I'll be talking about that. And I realized that I showed a build slide. That's crazy. Anyways, this is all, I'm all pumped up. That's why I'm just, you can feel the excitement. You can feel the excitement in, my voice and everything. So today's session, we're going to be learning how to actually build an app in like less than 30 minutes. All right, less than 30 minutes. It's going to be awesome. Awesome. And with, hold on, let me cue my drum roll. Without much ado, with the drum roll and a round of applause, let's go ahead and welcome our MVP, Luis You are live on the Power Series. Harris, welcome to the show.
Hi, nice to meet you. And thanks for having me.
You are welcome. We are rather grateful for having you because you're going to share with us some amazing stuff. So we are grateful for your time. Um, what's
So this
up?
is actually a no pressure moment, huh? Is it?
I know, right? Almost. Greetings for
So,
Germany, yes. I know, right? So, so a lot of my guests say that someone you have some crazy energy that you always kind of like puts us on the spot, and we feel a bit, like, whoa, what's happening? What's happening to this guy? But it's it's all in the spirit of the excitement, and it's always a good
yeah,
time, to connect with people like you to share knowledge on the Power Platform and all that. So I'm
of
really
course.
excited, to have you join us. And as always, we do on the show, we always want to, the first part, want to know who you are, where you're from, what you do, and most importantly, how you got into technology, because that's something that we feel is going to encourage, up and coming ones. So, if you don't mind telling us, all about, who you are and how you got into tech.
Okay, so hi, I'm Louise. I'm from Germany. I'm a Microsoft 365 consultant by day, Power Apps dev by night. So
Mhm.
actually very good that we meet at this time because here in my Let's Go More Power role.
Uh-huh.
Um, I am addicted to Lego, making stickers at PYOD shop,
Mhm.
and of course addicted to making apps and simplifying business processes. And I'm a mom of two girls, and of course I want them to work in tech as well, so I'm working on that goal as well. And how I got into tech, oh, funny story. So I would say by accident, but I stayed on purpose. So
Okay.
when I had my very first boyfriend, so this guy was hot. He was seriously, he knew, in my perception, he knew everything about computers. And because I thought that he was hot, I was like, tell me everything. And he did. And
Mhm.
this is how he raised my interest in tech. And when I was 16, I already ran my very first IT project at my high school. And we upgraded 400 machines from Windows 3.1.1 to Windows 95. So
Wow.
now you know how old I am
Yeah.
these days. And I did the communications and the testing routines and the installation routines and everything about that. And this was my very first IT program. And later, when I studied, and I studied something which is not related to tech at all, um, then I worked. I worked at the university with our computers to just install them and maintain them and do the help desk, and later I trained the help desk people, and later on I coached, and so this evolved into consultancy
Yeah.
over the last 20 years, so to
Wow.
say, and this is how I got into tech. Yeah.
That's very interesting, to know that there's always something that crosses your path, or initially you might feel like, oh, this is a coincidence, but then over time you get to do it, you love it, and then you're like, I wish everybody would was like me.
I
That
don't believe in coincidences. I think that we attract what attracts
what?
us.
Yeah,
So there is a give and take, and I don't believe in coincidences at
coincidences.
all. And
Yeah,
I think this is on purpose. And so I didn't plan that, but it just happens. And I'm very happy to be in tech. And yeah, so 2 years ago, I was awarded as an MVP for Office Apps and Services, and I feel very grateful
good
to
to go.
belong to tech community and to
Yeah,
be surrounded by people that I really love and that do support me on my mission, and it's a
yeah,
good thing.
yeah. So
It's a
tell
very
me,
good thing.
what is one of I don't know if you remember any of those moments where you're like, I wish I wasn't in tech. Like probably you had some challenge, and you just kept trying to overcome it, and it was just kind of like eating you up, and you're like, do you remember a moment like that?
Yes, of course. So right now I'm fighting a big battle. So it I'm a survivor, but and I need to do the thing, but I'm
Yeah,
fighting a big battle against
yeah,
harassment against women and other
yeah,
marginalized groups.
yeah.
So it appeared to me that dudes were sliding in my DMs, telling me what to do, telling me what to wear, telling me what not to wear, telling me how to smile or to smile more or to do this or to do that, and was like, hey, this needs to stop. So
Yeah.
I don't, just like fuck you, I don't want, I
Yeah.
will not do what you tell me
You
just
try. Yeah.
because you can't demand what I do. So if you don't
Yeah.
like what I do, just unfollow me. It's
Exactly.
just one click away. There is a button for it on Twitter. So that it's a very nice feature. You just click it and
Yeah.
magic, boom, I'm not in your timeline anymore. But yeah, I'm fighting this battle, and I think that this occurs specifically in tech, just because tech is a man-led industry, and the guys are somehow, or some of them, are not very familiar in how to treat a woman.
When,
And it's perfectly easy. It's just treat people with respect.
but yeah.
So it's not rocket science. So
Yeah.
everyone can do that. It's just like be as respectful as
As-
you are to other guys as well.
Yeah.
That's the message.
That's amazing. So, guys, if you're watching, the hashtag is no, not an invitation to harassment. Say no to harassment. That's all she's saying. Well, with all the intros out of the way, well, I guess, Louise, I'm going to turn it all over to you. If you have any slides, if you, I mean, I'm itching. I just want to see what you have.
excited to show you. So, of course, so I want to show you how to make an app in 30 minutes. And
Yeah.
as we talked about it, it's super beginner stuff,
Yep.
but it was like super fun because when I first made this app, and I will talk in a second about what this app is actually, I accidentally learned that you do not only need to give your app a name, but that you need to save it.
Yep. Yep.
And I learned that by closing my browser tab.
Oh, the whole browser.
Because if you close your browser tab and you did not save your app, it's gone.
Yep.
So, and this app was almost finished. And I figured out throughout the day how this would work. And I was like a bit...
I can imagine how you were feeling.
Like angry woman yelling at her computer. You can't imagine. So there was a lot of destructive energy in that room. So
That's
lucky
crazy.
me, so lucky me has an expensive computer, so I didn't throw it against a wall. But still, I was like, okay. So it took me a whole day to figure out how this would work because I was still a very beginner on Power Platform when I did that. And I was like, okay, so let's build this again. Let's make this app again, and let's see how long it takes me now, because now I knew all the things that I learned before by doing this and by Googling and by asking people and by watching videos. So you know how it works.
Yeah.
And then it took me just about 1.5 hours to do that. And that was like, challenge accepted.
Yep.
I will rebuild it again and then do it in under 30 minutes. And then someone said, that's actually a very good session idea. So you should do that. And then I did. And to be very honest, I pre-recorded that for you so that nothing can go wrong. And I checked the recording. So I would like to show you. So I'm going to share my screen right now.
Awesome. Yep.
Let's see if this works. It does? Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Perfect. So this is how to make a conference app in less than 30 minutes. And I am Louise. And if you like to, if this is not enough for you, you can follow me on Twitter at Louise Frese. Okay, so very short about me. Again, I'm Louise. I'm from Germany. As you can see, I can write very, very nice JSON code to introduce myself. My very favorite number is 42 for many, many geeky reasons. I'm an MVP for app services. Usually, I would say, I'm not the most technical person in the world, but hey, I'm working on it. I also work as a Microsoft 365 consultant, and I do the people stuff, which means I care about the strategy. I care about the art of teamwork. I teach how to do the same thing with Microsoft 365. And yes, I have a website. You can find my website as n365princess.com. And you saw also my Twitter handle, which is just my name. Tonight, what are we going to do? We're not going to take over the world. We're not going to do stupid things, but we're going to make an app in less than 30 minutes. So let's see how this goes. So my idea was I wanted to attend the Build conference. And the Build conference, the Develop conference, they had a website, and you could say, "Hey, I like the session," and then you got an ICS file to get this session in your Outlook. And I was like, yeah, but I don't want to go to my Outlook application to see what's the next session. And I want to see all the buzz on Twitter, and I want to have a nice system to rate all the sessions that were delivered. So this is what I want to do. And as I said, I pre-recorded this for you. So I want to display everything. Oh, wait. That was a little bit too fast. So I want to display the sessions of the conference. I want to display my Twitter feeds, and I want to have a session rating. And to do so, I first thought about a data model. So how could that work? So on the one hand side, I have my Outlook calendar. And of course, I have a Twitter connected, so I want to display all those tweets. But regarding the session rating, I do not only want to read data, but I want to write data. And if I want to write data, I first thought, so I come from an Office 365 background, so perhaps SharePoint could be a good idea. Then all the Power Apps people said, and the Dynamics people said, woo, Louise, you can't do that. Please use CDS, or whatever they call it nowadays.
Yep.
So shout out to Clarissa Gillingham, who said it's Microsoft Prince because it's the app formerly known as whatever. So please pick a name, whatever you feel comfortable with. I would just say CDS because this simplifies it for me. So they said, yeah, please use CDS. I was like, okay, I can do that, of course. So I digged into that as well and thought, okay, so I will create a solution. And of course, I will create a new publisher for that. So because this is what you do. And you can right now see me here creating my new solution and adding a new publisher, because this will make it easier for me in larger solutions to recognize my own stuff. So it's quite self-explaining. And now I will add to my new solution a new entity. For everyone who asks, an entity is just a table. It's just a table with columns, and you can add columns as well. And it's the Demo Less Code, More Power conference feedback entity. And this feedback, of course, has some fields. The field is the rating overall, the rating for the audience interaction, so how good the speaker was just like making contact to the audience, the rating of the content, the rating of the speaker skills, and so on. And the data type is always whole number, just because I want to have a rating later on 1 to 5 or something like that. I don't want to have a free text field where people can just write in. So after I figured out, okay, so this is my data model. So I need to have a Twitter connector, and I need to have an Outlook connector for all the sessions. And I need to have a nice place where I can write data in. And I made this nice place, which is an entity in CDS. I was like, okay, so then let's actually make this app. So let's get our hands very dirty. And you see me here creating a new Canvas app, and it has a nice name. It's Demo Conference app, and I chose phone layout. And the first thing I need to do is I need to make it pretty. So I cared about the legwork. So I did already the heavy lifting by thinking about my data model. So now I can make my app very pretty. And I chose to have a nice background image. And of course, I prepared that. And I will just fill the whole screen with a nice picture. And after that, I will rename my screen. And the next thing I need to do, there we go. The next thing I need to do is I need to choose a theme that is in harmony with my background picture. Why would I do that? So there are a few options how to deal with colors in Power Apps. First thing is you can just click any single button and define its color and hover color and the margin and any property. But I'm too lazy for that. So I'm lazy as fuck, and therefore I just didn't want to do that because I always say it's so making an app is just like 30% changing colors
Yeah.
every time. You change colors because you can, and so there are as well other ways to do that. So you can just put all your colors in variables, or you can refer to another list on App Start or whatever. But I just went super lazy and just chose a theme, and they are not that bad. So actually, it worked quite well for me. So I chose a theme, which you can see here. Can you see that? You can't.
So that's okay. It was like a
Oh,
was just a
wait.
dark.
We will try again. Here it is.
Yeah.
So I chose a theme, and then I added some icons for navigation. So it turns out I could have also just created a component to do that, but this was my second app ever that I created, so I was not familiar with using components. And
Okay.
I said, okay, I will just show you the way I did that when I had no clue about what I was doing. So I did a thing. I was just like aligning all those icons to have a nice navigation, and I just distributed them horizontally. So what I would do in PowerPoint as well, and I just put them just like at the bottom of this nice app. And then I was like, okay, now I need to disable the home icon just because if I'm at my home screen, it doesn't make any sense to click on a home button. Disabling that was a good idea. Now I duplicated this screen and said, okay, I do not only want to have a home screen, but also a screen for all my sessions. So this is the screen where I can browse through all my sessions. And because I wanted to browse through all my sessions, I needed to connect to my Outlook calendar. Wait. And if I already use the connector pane, I wanted to connect to Twitter as well. And this is what you can see here. So I connect to Outlook and I connect to Twitter. So we do not need to have this on the screen, but just in case I wanted to do that. Now I will get my calendars. So as you might know, in Outlook, you can have several calendars for your work, for personal, perhaps share calendars or an event calendar or whatever. So you can just like have several calendars in your Outlook account. And we need to define which Outlook calendar we want to have here in this app. And therefore, we need to use this Outlook collector, and we do not want the items of this drop-down field just like any calendar, but a certain calendar. And I have a calendar which is called events. And therefore, I set a filter. Not demo events, but I want events, and I set a filter. And the filter was, please set the display name just to events. And if I did so, then I was only able to display my events calendar. And after that, I just disable the visibility of this drop-down menu because I didn't need that anymore. It was just like because I will later refer to it. So what you see here right now is I will work on disabling always the icon that I don't need on that screen. So there is no need to have the calendar icon on this session screen because I'm already on it. I created a gallery in this screen because I wanted to display all the sessions from my Outlook calendar, and I set the items property to the calendar that I already selected, and then put that into my gallery, which was quite easy. And this means I just need to have a title, and you can see me here expanding a box, so changing colors and just clicky clacky, draggy droppy, as our colleague and beloved friend Keith would say. And you know, clicky clacky, draggy droppy.
Yeah.
This is what we do all the time. Okay, so now I'm gonna define my fields. So in this gallery, this is what you can see on the left-hand side of this here right now is I have a title, I have a subtitle, and I have an image. And I don't want to have an image. I don't need to have an image for a calendar item, so I'm going to change that. But I have a title, I have a subtitle, and I want to have a text. And which information would be useful for me? So right now, this is just like a title, some kind of awful idea or stuff, so I can't read that. And there is no time, there is no place, so this is just like super not useful for me. So I changed that to something that is useful to me. Oh, and we still have again another glitch in the matrix, so we're gonna start here again. Oh, come on.
So Brian is making me laugh in the chat here.
Okay, what does it say?
Clicking, clacky, dragging, dropping.
Yeah, clicky, clacky, draggy, droppy. So that's it. So basically, it's clicky, clacky, draggy, droppy.
Yeah.
Because there is a huge argument in the community if perhaps the whole Power Platform is this no code, or is this low code, or is this fuck code, or is this whatever. And I always think that I don't know, and I don't care, to be honest.
Yeah.
So if you like to refer to this like this, so this is no code or low code, so
yeah.
then just go for it. My
Yeah.
opinion is there is a lot of code in it.
Yeah.
You just don't see it in one view.
Yeah.
So you always need to click the boxes and then expand that, but so you don't get a real overview about that. So that's the harder side for everyone who's able to read a little bit more code than perhaps the typical maker. But I really don't care. So if this is kind of a religion to you to say, yeah, but I do code development or I do code development, please go ahead, be happy with that. But it really doesn't matter to me. So whatever feels good for you.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
that's clicky, clacky, draggy, droppy.
Yeah, I agree with that as well.
So what we do right now is we just define the fields, and I just say it's not this item body preview, but this item dot start, which is the start time, and I just refer to this item dot end, just because I want the start and the end time, and I just concatenate that. Just how we would do that in an Excel formula as well. So to me, it's not code, but who cares? And then there was a thing, because you need to know I suck at data formats. So the hardest thing ever, wherever it is, it doesn't. It does not depend on the language. It doesn't depend on the platform or whatever. But formatting dates is just like I suck at that. So, and nowadays I know how to properly do that, but when I did that the very first time, I did not know. So therefore I came out with a very awkward formula, because for European eyes, this AM and PM thing, it looks like ugly. We're not used to that, especially not in Germany. So we use a 24-hour format, and we just don't like that. So I came up with something, because let's say, so I want the hour, and then the colon, and then the minute of this item that starts. What happens if the minute is 0?
Yeah.
So if a session starts at 400, what happens then? Then I only get 1 0.
1 0,
and I don't want to have 1 0. I want 2 zeros. And therefore I came up with, yeah, but if there is only 1 0, then please add a second zero as a text, and then just include that. So I ended up with some awkward if statements, but it worked. And if it's going to work, I'm right. And perhaps it was not the most elegant way to do that, but it worked.
Yeah,
so
I
was fine with that.
Yeah.
I was really fine with that. And to be honest, it was the second app ever that I made. So I was okay. So what do we need to do? We need to sort our sessions by date. Yeah. Because I want to have chronological order and not alphabetical order. So I'm going to sort by start. Very, very easy. Now that we have that, we're going to duplicate this screen, name it Twitter, because we want a Twitter feed. I did not want to recreate a whole Twitter client, but I want to be able to read tweets about the conference. Yeah. And I said, okay, so this is Emma's build on Twitter. And I just connect it to the Twitter connector and
Ah,
searched for the MS Build hashtag.
yeah, hashtag. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that I can get all the buzz around the conference. You can search for persons as well or text or whatever. But I just chose a hashtag and it's like Twitter.search tweet MS Build. And how do I come up with that? So how do I know what to type in? It's quite easy as well. Why is it easy? Because what you need to do is you type in the name of the connector, just like Twitter, and then a full stop, just like a dot. And then the IntelliSense shows you what you're able to do.
To do. Yeah.
So and I totally rely on IntelliSense. So because sometimes I am too lazy to read the documentation as well. So because the documentation is my friend, I know that, but a full stop is easier than
Yeah.
opening the 33rd tab in my browser to read what I don't
Really,
know about.
yeah.
Perhaps you've been there as well. So what we're going to do here is I have here my gallery, and in my gallery, yes, again, I have a title, a subtitle, and a body, and I just need to define what I want to see. Where do I want to see what? And I chose I want the tweeted by as the title. So who did that tweet? Who's the person? And I wanted the user details, the location. So where is this person from? And I wanted the tweet text in the body. So what's the actual tweet? And then I wanted to have something else. So if there was something that was really interesting, I was like, yeah, but now I want to engage with that. Then I wanted to open that particular tweet in my browser if I was on Windows, or on my phone if I was on my phone. So to do that, you need to know two things. Thing number one is a tweet URL is just like twitter.com / then the name of the user / status / and then a tweet ID. And the second thing you need to know, to open a website, you can use the launch function. So I just combined that. So what we're going to do is we use this little arrow icon and don't say, hey, it's select parent, but it's launch. And then we say it's twitter.com. And you see me typing here. So I recorded that. Therefore, you can't hear me. So it's twitter.com. And now we need to have the user. And the user, we will just concatenate that because we already have the user because it's the Twitter connector. It's ampersand tweeted by, and then another ampersand and / status / in double quotation marks, and another ampersand with the tweet ID, and this as well comes from the Twitter connector, so we do not need to do any magic. So that's it basically, and we just put a launch function around that, and I press down the Alt key and just test it, and yes, particularly that tweet opened. So this is a nice thing as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Next screen, or last screen, I think so, it's the ratings screen. So I want to rate all these sessions. So of course they were all awesome, but I want to say how awesome they were.
Yep.
So what we're going to do is, of course, the background picture, you know that rule already. And now that I have that background image, of course, the navigational items, so I will disable them accordingly. And I said I will just record every single step. So you need to deal with that right now.
Yep.
Because I wanted to prove that you can do this in less than 30 minutes. And yes, pretty things up. I don't know if if you're more a data guy or more a UI guy.
So I am a full stack person. So I double from the front end all the way to the back end. and even to the point of integrating, IoT stuff to it. That's me.
Yeah. That's you. Okay. So we just changed the label. It's a sessions rating. And now we connect this form that we have in our screen to our CDS entity. So you remember we have a CDS entity and we would just connect it. And if we do so, we need to change the default mode of our form to new because we want others or our users to just submit a new form every single time that they click on this button. Okay, so what I do have is the session name, but I do not want people just to write something in it and then get the wrong session name or make typos, and then I can't filter my data anymore. But I want them to choose from a list.
Yeah.
So where do I have this list of sessions? It's in my Outlook.
Outlook, yeah.
And it's not only in my Outlook, it's already in my app. And I said it's the Office 365 Outlook that calendar get items, reaches drop down one. So this is the drop down with my calendar in it, with my event calendar dot value.
Okay.
And yes, you can sort by start. You don't need to do that, but it makes sense. Yeah. Then you need to change the data value of your drop down to subject, because by default it's a body preview. This cost me some headache just because I never got the right title because I was looking into the description.
Yeah.
So body preview equals to description. Yeah. And then you need to change the update property as well, because we want to display the subject of our events there. So basically that's it. This is really the hardest part of this whole app. It's nearly nothing, but this is what you need to do. And you can see me doing this right now. So I'm going to delete one field. It's just like created, the created field. And now you see me changing some display names. And now I know I should not do that. I should do this on the CDS side of things. But back then I didn't know that. But we can just follow me here along very easily. And you see me changing this allowed values property to only allowed values of what is already in my Outlook calendar. And the update property follows accordingly as well. And now body preview is to subject. So, and now we have a session name like Welcome to Microsoft Build 2020. Before that, it was like, hey, joint donor and her mates, but we don't want that. So we're going to work on the fields now. So I don't want you to type 1 or 2 or 3. I want those pretty rating stars, know, like an Amazon. Yeah. I want that because this is a typical user experience, and I just wanted to make it very easy. So what we're going to do is we just change that, and the UI is guiding me pretty easy here, and it's no big deal to do so. We changed the display names of the fields. Again, I should have done this in CDS, but I was not experienced with that because it was my very first CDS entity that I did in my whole life. So basically, you see me figuring out how stuff works. And still, it's like I am making an app, although I'm not a professional developer, nor just like experienced, just like 100 years in this tech. So nobody is, but I can already see job roles coming up, which say, but you need to have 10 years of experience in Power Platform. Like, that's nice. So what you see here is I created a success screen. So whenever I submitted a rating, I want that the user is navigated to a success screen so that he knows, okay, this is all fine. I did a thing. And what if this thing did not work? So I have the submit button. I want to navigate to the success screen. You can see that. I want to reset that form, of course. But what if something went wrong? So I come from a SharePoint site. So sometimes something went wrong. I even have a sticker for that in my shop. If something went wrong, I want to have a message on screen which says, okay, this went wrong. And I therefore use the notify function to do that. So on success, it's just a green banner saying, hey, all okay. On failure, it's just saying, hey, something went wrong, so that the user is notified about this failing event and can take action or ask support or whatever. So this app is just more like proof of concept or a very minimal viable product, but still it's just like in under 30 minutes. I think that's good enough for that. So what you can see here now is because I did not use a component,
Yeah, you had
because
to
I didn't know the
manually set.
components existed. So I didn't know that. So now I
Yeah,
know, and I use them
yeah.
very often. But because I didn't know, I needed to repeat and repeat and
Read
repeat
all
and
those
repeat
things. Yeah,
the work of, hey, I want to navigate, and I want to navigate. So the thing is, I'm now very familiar in writing this function.
yeah,
So this is
yeah.
the good thing about it.
Yeah.
So
You
that
get to do it all over again.
so
Yeah.
I will never make a mistake in the navigate function because I really know how this works. Um, the success screen doesn't need to have navigational items. No, you don't navigate to the success screen by clicking a button, but of course it needs an icon, because we want to navigate back from it.
Yeah,
So
to it, yeah.
because I submit a form and then I see the screen and then I want to go back home or back to my sessions or back to another rating or whatever. So I use the notify function. I
Function.
already explained that. It's just like you click on advanced and there is on success and you use notify and you just display the text that you want to show. And I said it worked, and notification type is success. And on failure, you use the notify function as well.
Function,
And
yeah.
I said something went wrong because this text is familiar to me. And I said notification type is then
Yeah.
arrow. Okay, last thing, my home screen. It looks so damn empty. And I don't like it. Yeah, I don't like that. So I said, hey, make it your MS Build. So this was my tagline for this application. And you see me clicky clacky, draggy droppy, and making
yeah.
it a little bit bigger. And yeah, so this is what you do. And I changed the color and here and clicky clacky again and change again the font size. So this is what you do as a maker. It's not that easy. And last thing is we publish our app. So
Yep.
after a few minutes, we're already there and we can save it. We can publish it. And now it's available on mobile phone as well. So how gorgeous is that?
Yep.
Let's play with it. I have my sessions.
Awesome. Yep.
I have my ratings. Of course, 5 stars. I submit that.
And
It
that's
worked.
done.
I go to my
Yes.
screen. I go to my Twitter. I open up a tweet. Booyah.
Yeah.
So, and hey, I think we're going to celebrate this because it took me
Oh yes.
10 minutes
Yeah.
and 46 minutes. And yes, I added some clip speed here and there just to speed up things, but I think you got the message.
Yep. Yep. Actually, yeah, that deserves a
That's
round
it.
of applause.
That is
Yeah.
how to make an app in less than 30 minutes.
Awesome. So, yeah, I mean, even though we had to just kind of like run through that, it gave us an idea into how, I mean, with less experience, all the clicky draggy things. So, so I mean, it's for me, it's a good entry point for a lot of people to go back to this and you look at how
Yeah.
to build that. That's very amazing. So quick question from Brian. Brian says that how would you adapt this app for a virtual event? Because he sees this to be a very awesome idea. So how would you adapt this for a virtual event?
How would I adapt this? I would include the Teams link, assuming that the event would take place in Teams, or I would include the link for joining the session.
Okay.
This is the first thing. I would love to have a community place in this app so I can easily exchange my views with other attendees.
Yeah.
So this is what I didn't focus on in this app. So this would be nice as well. And yeah, that's it.
Should we
Because-
expect version 2 of the app?
Build was a virtual
event.
conference this year.
Yeah. So the next question is, should we be expecting version 2 of the app?
When?
Like, yes, when are we expecting to see version 2, version 3, like the next iteration of the application?
Yeah, on it. I'm on. So Ignite is happening very soon, so I need to come up with that. Huh?
Don't forget, Ignite is just around the corner.
I know.
Ignite is just
But
around
this,
the corner.
but I launched this 2 days before MS Build, so
Well, see, that's like a lot of time for you to make all the changes and make it look even awesome.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, it was just like a good starting point into Power Platform. So I used to have a lot of experience with Power Automate already,
Yeah.
and even with Power Virtual Agent. So I can do very nice stuff with that. But I felt like, yeah, but I'm not technical enough to make an app. And the first app I made was a math app for a kid, and yeah. Don't ask me.
So Louise, Brian.
And the second app was just my conference app. So this, but it felt good to do that. And I made a few other apps as well. And I'm getting more and more into app making, and I really like it. And what I like the most about it is that I can see my progress. So it's not perfect, but it doesn't need to be. And I learned so much from every app that I make, and I just enjoy my learning journey.
Yeah. So Brian says, so from all that you're saying, it means that version 2 is coming out September 20th. So he's keeping his fingers crossed.
So Brian, okay, this is particular to Brian. Brian, we gotta talk. Because
Brian.
now I have a due date.
So Brian, you
okay, please Brian, please send me a direct message on Twitter, and we're going to talk about it.
Actually, Brian, you're going to be volunteered. You still owe us an appearance on the show. So
okay. Yeah. He is so volunteered to be my tester and my advisor and my sparring partner and whatever.
Yeah.
So I volunteer with Brian right now.
So he says that he has homework assigned. So he's actually accepted it.
Perfect.
He's accepted it. Awesome. So Louise, what are some of I mean, obviously, you've experienced that when you have to just go do the thing. You have to just get started, and it's only when you get started that you So what are some of the takeaway things that kind of advice you give to people? Because you get a lot of people saying, how do I get started? I'm not too technical, like you're saying. What are some of the things you have for them?
Yeah. So at first I thought it was just like, first I'm going to create some buttons, and after that I will figure out how to put just like any functionality into that button. And this is not how it works. So if you want to make an app, so I follow these steps. I first define my idea and my minimal viable product. So what is the most minimal viable thing that could add value? Even not as a product, but to my learning journey. Perhaps this is the outcome. Perhaps this is the desired outcome. And after that, I will outline all my thoughts and I will just write them down. So I have a pen and a surface, and I would just write that down in my OneNote. And if I have that, I think about my data model. So I think, which connectors will I need to use? Will I need to write data, or will I just need to have data inside of an app, just like for a few minutes or so, or for a session? Or will I need to write into an external database? And what is the best database for this purpose? And could be that it's CDS, and could be that it's SharePoint, and could be that it's I don't know what you want to do, but it doesn't. It's not always the same. So I have apps that run with CDS, and I have apps that run with SharePoint, but they serve different use cases. So first thing is think about your data model. And after you have that, I will quote my dear friend Chris Huntingford. And Chris says, a great app is a byproduct of your data model.
So there's also this concern that at what point do you determine I need to use CDS, or I don't know if what they call it now still exists. At what point do you determine to use that, or just to go off SharePoint or any other data source?
Okay, so if my data model is very simple, and if I do not need to have a relational database, then I go to SharePoint because it feels natural to me because I come from an Office 365 background. I know what SharePoint does. I do not need to care about that any SharePoint issues because I know all the SharePoint issues and
Mm-hmm.
I'm familiar with that. So this is just like it's my own brain. And
Mm.
if I was like, yeah, but I want to create a lot of lookup columns, then I'm just like using something what it's not meant to be. And then I would just like go for CDS. So
Okay.
little example, I run a sticker shop at pyd.shop,
Mm.
and we have an app to push our new pictures of the products to our
Yep.
shop. And I made this and it's running on CDS. Why is that? Because of course I have customer and
Mm.
customer can place different orders,
Others, yeah.
and these
Yeah.
orders can contain different stickers, but the stickers can be assigned to a lot of orders.
Others,
So
yeah.
this is a many to many relationship, and you can't easily do that in SharePoint.
SharePoint.
And
Okay.
this is
Okay.
yeah, and this is why I went for CDS in that case.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just use SharePoint because I just need 3 columns, and none of them is just like a complex column, just like metadata or a person or what or choice, and it's just like a single line of text. And if this is just single line of text, there is no need to use this high-end
Yeah.
super paper of CDS, and we'll just go for SharePoint.
Awesome. So, I mean, it's actually I'm getting a lot of good comments that this is interesting. So, like I told you, it seems
Yes.
basic, but people are actually enjoying that. Actually, also on to add to that, Keith Watling, he's also an MVP. He's a huge, when you if you want to do anything CDS and you want clarity, Keith is
I
your
know.
guy.
Keith
Keith is
and
your
I love
guy.
that.
Yeah. Keith is your guy. So quickly, yes,
He is.
people might not know, but you mentioned it, and I think I've seen a couple of your stickers. If you can, drop us the URL, you can drop us the
Of course.
URL to your
It's
stickers thing. We can push it out there, and then we
yeah,
can probably talk, briefly about it. How did you
yeah.
start, with that?
Okay, so pyd.shop,
Okay, let's actually put this PYOD dot
which
shop.
is and PYOD is pimp your own device. So it's not bring your own device, it's
Oh.
pimp your own device.
Pimp
And
your own device.
yes,
Ah.
it is. And I run this together with my partner Elias Truff. And I was creating stickers for a long time, and he was creating stickers for a long time, and we always said, yeah, so we have a form and you can just request some, and if you like to just send us a coffee or something like that.
Mm,
And then we realized there is a high demand
yeah.
for stickers,
Yeah.
and we need to professionalize this service to be
Yep.
able to deal with that. And then we teamed up and we said, oh, okay, so we need a website,
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
need a shop system, and we need just like everything. And this thing is the best combination of a maker and pro developer better together story that you can ever imagine. So he's a
Yeah.
pro developer and I'm a maker, and we have a business running on Power Platform and Microsoft 365. And
Mm-hmm.
still, any process is automated via Power Automates and Azure Functions. And we're very, very, very happy to serve community with these stickers. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So actually, I think so. Someone might probably have joined a bit late. I was asking, is this kind of like a plugin for C Sharp and all that? So, I am Daniel. No, it's not a plugin for C Sharp. Power Apps is actually part of the Microsoft Power Platform set of tools, which is a
Yep.
low code, no code entry level into building applications with less
Yep.
code. So you can try that out. I think it's aka.ms try Power Apps. But again, like I said, hit us on our social media, on like our Twitter handles, and then we'll be cool. Willing to give you resources to go check that out. Yeah. So Brian says it's good. It's good to learn how you run your stickers with Power Platform. So he wants you to. So so yeah, he wants to he wants to know that. So yeah. Yeah.
He wants to know that. Yeah, nice. Um,
Yeah, so he wants to know
I
that.
put I put a link
Yep.
to how we run this shop
Okay.
to a mind map which Ilya made into our chat. So if you like to,
Yeah, I'm
you
actually
can share this
copying
as well.
this. Yeah, and let me
Yeah.
actually
So
share this right now. Put it out. So Brian, I've pushed that out. So anyone who is interested in knowing how you're using all that, Diva Bot Amphibia. Yes,
so
exactly.
like we have just awesome processes for printing our envelopes. Just like so,
Yeah.
this runs on Power Automate because we need to get all the shipping addresses and print all the envelopes just because we need to put a sticker into an envelope. So this is not
Mm,
something that you can just send by email or in a
email.
Teams
Yeah.
message, but you just need to have a Snail Bear for that. So
Yeah.
we needed to have a decent process for that, and we use some very nice magic, and
Yeah.
it won't be possible if I did not team up with the pro dev. But
Yeah.
it's a nice example of a fusion dev team and
Yeah.
of this better together approach.
Yeah. And
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 it's
that's
and it's a real case.
Yeah, it's a real use case. And that's the thing about power ups that especially most of the things on the power platform that I want to encourage people. It's yes, it's a less no code kind of thing, but it also has that feature for pro devs. I mean, like for instance, you can going into the formula thing and create any complicated thing you want, but on a low level as well, you don't necessarily need to know all that complicated stuff. You can have it done. So it's not like a plugin or it's just a platform on its own that just does great stuff. As you can see,
Yeah.
she just built a complete I mean almost I mean an application that you can use to track events, sessions and all that. So I would encourage you, to go take a look at it. Okay, and yeah, so she's saying all that. Awesome. Bring your own. Bring your own. Yeah, that's
Print
it.
your
That's it.
device, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it's awesome. Very, very, very awesome. This has been very interesting, being very, entertaining. And I can see people going all crazy in the chats. So, Louise, this is really awesome. We're really grateful for the time. Thank you for, sharing all this with us. Again, we're just telling you, just go do the thing. You're being volunteered. Go try it out. Just give it a try. Try
Well,
to build a very basic application, learn the cool stuff about it, and who knows, you might fall in love with it and you
okay,
probably
so
building applications.
anyone who followed this session, I was like, what? I want to do the same. So if you have any questions, please reach out to me. Just tag me on
Yep.
Twitter. I will get through all the messages and answer all questions as well. And if you'd like to give me an idea, just like for the second version of the app, please go ahead as well.
Yeah.
Highly appreciated, and I hope you enjoyed my session. And see you soon again. Bye
Awesome.
bye.
Thank you very much. Well, so you heard it from her herself. It's been another awesome episode of the Power Series. Like I always say, enjoy the rest of the day. Stay safe. Learn something new. Let's be safe. COVID is still real. It's still out there. So let's stay safe. Learn something, share something, and let's all make the world a better place. Well, till I come your way again next week with another awesome episode. This has been the Power Series, and I am out.